These two candidates tell me they are longtime friends. They have run against each other before, and here they are back again in Davidson County's GOP primary. The candidates are Eddie Gallimore, the challenger, and Sam Watford, the incumbent. Why do you want to go back?
I enjoy it. I've gotten to where we've passed some good legislation, I think, and this past year was an example of some things that we'd all been working on for several years that we got together and approved, and I was fairly proud of that.
I'm not a politician. I don't like politics, really. I know it seems odd, but we have too many people that are in politics just for themselves. And it's not Democrats, it's not Republicans, it's all of them, period.
Gallimore beat Watford for a state Senate seat. That was back in 2018. Now the two men are running against each other again, this time for a seat in the North Carolina House.
I am willing to put myself out there to try and make a change.
So what is it that you think needs to be changed?
Gallimore names Medicaid expansion as one of the changes adopted by Republican lawmakers that he opposes.
Our legislators in North Carolina just voted in to raise have a more Obamacare. That's not the answer.
So you oppose the Medicaid expansion?
Yes, I did.
Why do you oppose it?
It is not going to the people that really are the ones that are deserving of the health care.
Without Medicaid expansion, a number of people would not have any health insurance. Is it not better to have some than none?
The problem is the people that are getting some of the stuff, they're getting stuff they shouldn't be getting, or stuff that shouldn't be there for them.
Let me ask you about Medicaid expansion. You voted for that, did you?
I certainly did.
Why?
And for years, a lot of us all said that we were against it. Hopefully this is going to help, 600,000 of them? It made more sense, and we had the money. And it was a big bonus put out by the federal government to do it.
You think it's going to be helpful?
Oh yeah, no question about that.
Yeah. Why was your party opposed to it for so long? Because it was like a long battle to get that done.
Because if you look at it from an ultra-conservative viewpoint, then you're giving something away and the other man's paying for it.
What is it that you guys did pass that you point a finger to and say, hey, look at what we accomplished this past year?
Well, the social issue, the biggest thing would be the abortion thing when it came up and came back down and came through. And I thought it was a fairly sensible solution to that issue. And anything could still be worked on.
Do you want to work further on that?
That's not, we kind of let the ladies lead the way that are in the caucus and in the General Assembly and whatever. And it's a kind of a personal thing to a lot of people, and it is to me too. So let's wait and see.
Would you favor, if it came back up, would you want to ban abortion in North Carolina?
No, no.
Why not?
I'm not qualified at all to answer that question. That's a personal issue, and it's a medical issue, and it's a little different, completely out of my field altogether.
I've always been against abortion, except, and I was talking with somebody the other day, and I've told it in the past and when I've talked, abortion and life or death, incest or rape or something of that nature, I'm not opposed to it. I don't like it, but I'm not opposed to it.
Would you vote for a ban in North Carolina and a ban on abortion?
Yeah, I would.
But you would make exceptions for the life of the mother,
yes,
the rape and incest?
Yes. Okay.
The two candidates disagree on some of the issues, but Davidson County voters likely won't see any negative campaigning in this race.
You guys have known each other for a very long time. You consider you guys you consider him a friend?
Oh yeah, he's definitely a friend. We're have relatives. We're all from the same part of the world, south of here. I would prefer that he had not gotten in the race as my opponent. I had filed 2 weeks before that, and it was on the last day of filing when he filed. But he's a good guy. He really is. I'm not going to say anything negative about him at all. We've known each other almost all of our lives. Our parents knew each other. He's a super guy.
Is there any other differences besides that?
Oh, yeah. He's a lot older than I am, too.
Do you consider yourselves friends?
Yes, I do.
So why are you challenging a friend who has a seat in the legislature?
I don't like the way Sam votes.
Can you give me a bill or something that he's voted that you disagree with?
One was Medicaid expansion.
Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.